This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Thursday, October 17th. Another sunny day in Dallas with a pleasant temperature of 75 expected. Clear skies tonight with a low of 53. Here are today's headlines. Texas legislators held a day-long hearing Wednesday examining the evidence and hearing expert testimony in the case of Robert Roberson, the East Texas man who could become the first in the country to be put to death for the disputed shaken baby syndrome theory. After the Texas Board of Paroles and Pardons denied clemency to Roberson, legislators voted unanimously to subpoena Roberson. It's not immediately clear what impact that will have on his scheduled execution. The 57-year-old Roberson was convicted of capital murder in 2003 for reportedly shaking his 2-year-old daughter Nikki to death. He is scheduled to be executed by lethal injection Thursday evening in Huntsville. The clemency petition, filed September 17th, asked for Roberson's death sentence to be commuted, or the execution delayed 180 days, to allow the board and Governor Greg Abbott to give the filing appropriate consideration. The board voted unanimously not to recommend either reprieve. Abbott last agreed to spare the life of a death row inmate in 2018. Gretchen Sween, one of Roberson's attorneys, said in a statement sent to the Dallas Morning News, "It is not shocking that the criminal justice system failed Mr. Roberson so badly. What is shocking is that, so far, the system has been unable to correct itself when Texas lawmakers recognized the problem with wrongful convictions based on discredited science over 10 years ago." Roberson's lawyers have asked the U.S. Supreme Court to pause his execution. It is unclear when the conservative majority justices will rule. Roberson, who is autistic, previously faced execution in 2016, but the date was stayed after his attorneys argued the conviction was based on junk science and false, misleading, and scientifically invalid testimony. In other news, the town of Fairview has created a zoning defense fund for legal costs in anticipation of a lawsuit from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints over the town's denial of a controversial proposed temple. In August, the Fairview Town Council denied a conditional use permit to construct the McKinney, Texas temple. The proposed temple was a 43,200 square foot building, 65 feet tall, with a spire reaching almost 174 feet. The temple was planned for a lot next to an existing meeting house in the town. The lot falls under the town's residential area zoning restrictions, stating buildings can have a maximum height of 35 feet. If built, it would be the town's tallest building. The Zoning Defense Fund, meant to protect the town's zoning ordinances from potential litigation, is accessible through the town's website. Donations are voluntary and non-refundable. Present town council members unanimously voted to approve the fund in an October 2nd meeting. Council member Greg Custer was absent from the meeting and did not vote. Next up, a federal jury in Fort Worth awarded American Airlines $9.4 million on Tuesday in the airline's suit against Skiplagged, a website that promotes bargain fares through hidden city ticketing, a practice that saves many flyers money, but American contends costs airlines millions in uncaptured revenue. Jurors in the court of U.S. District Judge Mark T. Pittman ordered Skiplagged to pay American $4.7 million in actual damages for copyright infringement and $4.7 million in disgorgement of ill-gotten revenues derived from Skiplagged's misconduct. That's about half of what one of American's attorneys, Paul Yetter of Yetter Coleman in Houston, asked the jury to award the airline in his closing argument last Friday. In addition to his copyright claim, the airline's suit sought damages for trademark infringement. The jury Tuesday awarded no damages on the trademark claim. And Mark Cuban says he feels bad for Jerry Jones after Jones's meltdown in a radio interview earlier this week. The Cowboys owner took a defensive tone during his weekly radio hit with Shannon RJ on 105.3 The Fan, drumming up the buzz around his team after a 47-9 loss to Detroit. Jones fired back at the radio hosts after being asked about his team's roster and a quiet offseason. He later doubled down on his remarks, saying the wrong ones were doing the questioning. It was all part of a whirlwind bye week for the Cowboys. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and for the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.